so much stuff floating around. I don't know. People trying to say they wasn't together.
Basically was trying to get into a threesome. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Kay and Manny. I am the one they call Manny. She is the lady of all K's. And we want to thank you for tuning in to us again for another PowerCouple Series. Now, we want to make sure that we want to thank everybody that's tuning in through our Instagram, our Facebook, and our YouTubes. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend. Make sure that friend tell a friend. And make sure that friend tell a whole bunch of people. Now, we want you all to run up the likes and make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a video, all right? So today, we have another power couple in our hands. And I want to introduce you to Charles and Lasheena Doxley. How y'all doing today, guys?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm feeling great.
I'm doing great as well. We're truly blessed to be here. So
That's
feeling good already amongst your energy.
Good. And I'm happy.
Loving the energy. Loving it.
And I'm
All
happy
right.
that you guys accept the invitation. So we just want to welcome you and we thank you once again.
Right,
Thank
absolutely. Now, just kind of give a prefix to everything that's going on. This couple has been together the longest, and we want to thank them for coming in. And they could be anywhere in the world, but they're here with us.
Absolutely.
As you may like to say. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Now, Charles, Lasheena, tell us how long y'all been together and how did y'all meet? There are no details.
There are no details.
Well, I can start with how long, and I will let her fill you in on her version. I guarantee you my version might be a little bit different. So
It's always like that.
We've been married for 15 and a half years. We got together in 2003 when I was in college. I guess our official date might vary based on the details of the story, but we've been together since 2003, and I'll let her fill you in on how we got together.
All right. Well, so we met. Actually, we were playing spades. We were playing cards in the guy's dorm. I had met his friends first. And me and my girlfriends had been playing cards with them and just hanging out. Well, I, coming from San Diego, California, was just learning how to play spades. I've never played spades before. So this particular night, Charles was there and I came and I needed a lot of help. So how he would say it is I kept batting my eyes at him. Can you please help me? And what I would say coming from San Diego, can you help me estimate my hand? Now, you know, if you play spades, you don't use estimate, right? I was very proper. You would say, you know, bid. What are you going to bid? Exactly. So I said, can you help me estimate my hand? And so he was helping me all night. And then at the end of the night, he walked with me to my dorm. We had great conversation. And ever since then, we just continued to communicate. At that time, I was in a relationship with someone long distance in San Diego. But then that was all she wrote.
Now, Lasheena, I have a question for you. So
Yes.
black folks don't play spades in San Diego?
I don't know. I gotta call some friends and be like, do y'all know how to play spades? I don't know. I didn't know.
That's okay. Because maybe it's the East Coast, West Coast thing. Because here on the East Coast, we played. And if you didn't play correctly, you would get fired. Or you might hear it at the end of the
Exactly. Believe me, I've learned over the years.
Oh my gosh. I had to throw that in. Sorry, Manny. Go ahead.
I was going to throw it in, but you know, Charles, you was about to say something. Go ahead.
Yes. Here's how I know it's all Lasheena, and it was all part of her plan to obtain a young gentleman like myself at the time, because she's born in Washington, D.C. They play spades all in Washington, D.C. Go to their family gathering. Everybody's got some spades, a spades game going. There's a spades table all over the house. So I don't know how she grew up in D.C. and all of a sudden forgot how to play spades. And
I left when I was 12.
Estimate when that night. And then the next day she was playing just fine.
That's funny. That's funny.
Great teacher.
Oh, that's what it is.
Now I have to ask real quick, and I don't know we really. I wanted to ask real quick, what college did y'all meet? What was the college that y'all meet at?
Albany State University in Georgia, in Southern Georgia. So
Okay.
HBCU.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Great. Shout out to all the HBCUs out there, and trust me, we love y'all. At least I do.
Yeah.
All right. We want to thank you for answering those questions. Okay. I know you got something you want to power through. Go for it.
So as you guys know, you are here because this is a Power Couple series. So my first question to you is, what does Power Couple means to you?
Wow.
That's a good question, right?
Yeah.
So I'll start us off, and then we that's how we flow. We work together.
And I love that. Work together.
I'll start us off, but when I think of Power Couple, I honestly think of the two united as one, like truly coming together and intentionally working together to not only make a difference in their own personal lives, but the lives of those that are closest to them and the lives of others. And how, just reflecting over our life, it just really seems like that's the order in which it works. And a power couple is really not out there trying to be a power couple, but it's almost in your DNA, and it's almost how you're operating and what you're doing in your life. It kind of leads you in that direction.
Yes, and I'm an engineer by trade. So when I think of power couple, I think of it almost literally, where we're looking at a couple that can create a mass amount of energy and then spread it out to the people. We create a mass amount of energy and spread it to other couples. I mean, that's when I think of a power couple, a couple who can inspire, a couple who can motivate, a couple who can transfer their energy, their vision, their goals to other people to strive for them. So when I think of a power couple, I think of a couple that's just out there bringing their energy and making sure the people can have that energy, and other couples can have that same energy, and they know that that energy is attainable.
Absolutely. I love that. And for you guys, go ahead, Manny.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to jump in. Lasheena, you said something that's interesting. You said that a power couple is not even trying to be a power couple. Can you kind of explain that a little bit further? That's interesting you said that.
Yeah. Well, so as I was thinking about it, like Charles and I, right? People will always tell us, like, you're the glue that keeps us together. You're the glue that always bring us together. We're those people that we're like magnets almost, but we have a desire too. We enjoy having a good time. We enjoy seeing others thrive. We enjoy but we never saw ourselves like heading on a platform that I know and believe God is leading us to. Does that make sense? On a national level or worldwide level, where we're really impacting outside of our circle.
Right.
Oh,
that's where that thought for me came from.
Gotcha. Okay. Great. Thank you for letting us know that, because when you said that a power couple is not even trying to be a power couple, that's very interesting you say that, because a lot of quote unquote power couples are pretty much saying the same thing. They're just letting it naturally happen. And then when you said that, I wanted to kind of get your mindset of behind that statement, because again, a lot of power couples per se are not even trying to be that. They're just that, just Absolutely. Naturally. And I wanted to ask you that real quick, just kind of get your insight on it. Thank you very much. Sorry, Kate, go ahead and continue.
So from giving that response, so you and your husband, do you see yourself as a power couple, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And would you give some examples to our audience, how you balance, your marriage and your work life? How does that fit? How does that work?
Well, for us, originally it was a challenge, because we got together very young, and we actually got married young. We were still in college when we got married. And very soon, you know how I say, first come love, then come marriage. And then while we're still in college, here comes that baby and the baby carriage. So we had to learn quickly how to balance our day, how to be able to share responsibilities, how to be able to be intentional about finding time for each other amongst the chaos, because quickly we went from 1 to 2 to 3, and it seemed like it was like Pringles. Once we popped, we could not stop. So the children continuously kept coming, and then we had a lot of responsibilities. I finished my undergraduate degree in mathematics with 2 children.
Mhm.
I got my master's degree. We had a 3rd children. I started my job. We had a 4th child. So we had to learn quickly that work is something that we have to, it's going to be a responsibility, it's going to be there. We had to quickly be able to balance our time, make time for each other, be intentional about creating time so that we can be together and still find the joy in our relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you want to say something, Lasheena?
Look, so yeah, no, really, it's just that management of time is always evolving as well as we're continuing to grow. So there's no one set way, there's no one set situation or balance that just works. And something
Right.
that I've personally learned over time, like this idea of balance, it really, what does that look like? In our
Right.
mind, we think it's 50-50, work, life, 50-50, and that's balance, right? But what I've learned, because as a mom of 7, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, right? My husband works full time and have other multiple things that he does on the side. He teaches, he mentors, he coaches, like all these different things. Does balance really exist? But what we do, what he said, we are intentional with our time. So we may only be able to give 10% here, 30% here, 20% here. But the thing is, when you're intentional about giving that some percentage of your relationship, your family life, your work life, and everything else, that's true balance. And
Right.
it doesn't have to be equal on one side of the scale versus the other. As long as you're giving that percentage all around and it totals 100%, then that's what balance is. And we've learned that over the years. So it's always evolving for us.
And it changes from
Absolutely.
week to week. It changes from month to month. It changes from year to year. But we make sure that we're intentional to maximize those windows of time that we have. So like she was saying, it may be a few hours this week. It may be next week he's off. We may have a lot more, but we have to be intentional about maximizing those hours when we have.
Absolutely. I don't know how you do. I heard you say 7 kids. Listen, let me tell you something. I have 2 children, and my youngest one is 5, and he's just like a ball of energy. But you said you got 7. How do you do that?
The grace of God, honestly, I haven't lost my mind. And
Right.
look, we haven't lost our marriage. Literally, the grace of God and honestly, our community.
Oh my God. Do y'all have date nights?
We
How do y'all?
do.
Okay.
We have to. And actually, Charles' birthday was just yesterday.
Oh,
And
happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And so the night before, on Friday nights, we started hosting couples nights through our business FitLife Solutions. So once a month, this is our way of bringing couples together and being intentional about creating activities, leading them and guiding them in different activities to create connection in a relationship. So right now during COVID, that has been really like important to us for our date night, because that helps us as well and increases that connection for us. So we listen to music, we dance, we have a good time, and it's just the 2 of us. We like to reminisce and have a good time. So yes, we have to.
Good. I'm happy you take that time for yourself. And that was actually going to be my next question. I know you guys say you was in business together. So tell us a little bit more about FitLife.
Okay. Well, FitLife Solutions is actually something that just kind of evolved. It evolved purely out of our passion for bringing people together. We started looking at Facebook over time and seeing how many large gatherings that we had created just naturally, authentically, trying to make sure people were happy. And then we started to think about it. Well, she's a marriage and family therapist. How can we create something to intentionally bring more people together? Because we can continuously, we would hear and see messages from our good time, and then we get these side messages about people who wish they could have times like this, who wish they had groups like this, who wish they had a network like this. So we figured, wow, ding, ding, ding. That's when we had an epiphany, a moment where we said, well, we can bring people together on a larger scale, but we have to do it in a structured way. So then we birthed FitLife Solutions as a opportunity to bring people together, to share our experiences, because we have 15 years of experience, and we were one of those couples that should not have made it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you imagine kids getting married in college, their junior year, then there's 2 kids before they graduate. I mean, that's not a success story in most cases. 99.9% of the time, that ends in failure. So we decided to share our true life, our life experiences. And we decided to put this business together to share with the world some of those skills, those techniques, those things that we do to make sure that relationships can flourish.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I think that sounds beautiful. I'm going to go back a little bit because, Charles, you said something so profound. And I remember what Lasheena, you put on a questionnaire when I asked you, how did that two get together? You had an incredible story. And if you don't mind sharing, if you feel comfortable, share that story that you said that you know that moment it was time for you guys to get married, and how your mother married you guys and what happened.
Absolutely. Yes. Not a problem at all. So it was our second year, actually right on the second year of dating. We met in August 2003. Here we are, August 2005. We had traveled together to Washington, D.C., my hometown, to visit my family.
Matter of fact, I had an internship.
That's what I had
an internship with a national organization, and just so happened that I was going to be in D.C. for the summer. So continue on. That's just going to add that in.
So he was going to be there for the summer. So he drove there. We drove there together, and it was a perfect time for me to be with my family while he's there doing his internship. Well, let's fast forward. It's time to wrap up. It's time to go. My mom, the night before, talked to us, and my mom, she was a prophetic woman, and she told us, God has so much in store for you guys. You might as well, because I was getting ready to move into my own apartment, and my mom wasn't silly. She knew Charles was going to be there. It wasn't me just moving in by myself. But, that wasn't a conversation her and I really had. But she was like, y'all might as well just do it right. You do it right. You get married, bring your union together before God. And he has so much in store for you guys. And I listened, and then at that time, it was like, Mom, you're not telling me what to do. We had already kind of talked about marriage, but, we not that day. We wasn't going to plan to do it or anything like that. Then we packed our car up to get ready. We had a conversation. I stood my ground, and I was like, not right now, but we will get there.
And we were talking about marriage 5-10 years from down the line. We wasn't talking about marriage tomorrow.
Right.
Okay, because just for clarity's sake.
Yeah, and because Charles, his mentality at that time was, I want to be situated. I want to be stable. I want to finish school. I want to have a job and things like that. And I respected that. I can honestly say I was ready that day. If he was to say, let's get married, I would have married him that day. However, we packed up our car to get ready to leave. And we packed it up the night before. In the projects of Washington, D.C., I wasn't thinking. We left the car at my grandmother's house. My mother, I had her other car. We drove to Baltimore to stay with her. Well, we drove back that morning. The car we had packed up was gone.
Wow.
It was gone. Everything in it, the belongings everywhere. I mean, we couldn't find it. We searched for it. We called the police. No one could find this car. And lo and behold, what happened out of this incident, it left another day for my mom to talk to us, to convince us to, that God has more in store for you.
Right.
This is the man. I see this is the man. And I'm going to be frank and quite honest. This is the man. He has a child on the way. What do you mean? Or has a child? What do you mean this is the man? Right. So right when we were first dating, when we had just met, Charles went back to his home. Well, we started dating. He went back to his hometown to visit during break, and I went back to my hometown. Charles come back 7 months later. He got a baby on the way.
Wow.
All right, let's fill in the details, because
yes,
we were dating, quote unquote, at the time. Remember, she had the guy back in California who had the jerry curl on top with the braids in the back. I just wanted to fill that in for the work. I'm going to keep out visuals.
Wait, you dated a man with jerry curl?
Jerry curl with the braids in the back.
Back then. That was
in the 2000.
We talking our age.
In 83, that was in, not 2000.
So he had the Aaron Michelle tape for you know what I mean?
So You know, so he was supposed to be coming,
Right.
you know, to visit her in DC. So in my mind, if he's coming, how are we together?
We had broken up though. We did break up, but he has a point. So, anyways, so I'm thinking in my head, Mom, this the one that got a baby, got away. You know, this is. But anyways, that left us another day to have a conversation with her. He was hot. He walked around the streets of Baltimore not knowing where he was because his car was gone, and he was upset. But even in the midst of that, he said, you know what? I do want to marry this woman. You know, I remember him calling his dad. I remember him calling a few of his family members. And my mom is an ordained minister. So she married us in my aunt's living room. And it was just 5 of us there. And we got married. And Lord behold, 6 months later, my mom, she passed away. And it was like, wow, she knew I needed to be connected and so this mom for me, it wasn't my biological mom, but this is my mother who raised me. The reason I moved to San Diego, California, out of the projects in Washington, D.C., where my life could have been completely different. So this was the woman who I was introduced to God and had my relationship, the reason I have my relationship with God today. So she saw something and she knew something. And so it's like she passed me, I was connected to the one I needed to be connected to when this tragic incident happened. And it was like it was meant to be, you know? And so that was our story of how we got married. And it was not traditional. We didn't have a wedding. We celebrated our 7-year anniversary. The 7-year is completion. And so we did have, that was our wedding day, you know, at our 7-year mark. But yeah, so it hasn't been perfect, but we worked through. We've been through so much and we worked through it. And we just know that it does work when you're both willing to work together. So
absolutely. That's a powerful testimony. I'm still in the like, wow. Thank you guys for sharing. Manny, look like you got something to say.
I mean, I'm a loss for words, but I also want to thank y'all for sharing that. And we want to say rest in peace to your mother, because without her wisdom, without her guidance, y'all wouldn't be together. To be
absolutely
very thorough with everyone here. And she saw it. She had the foresight to see where y'all two were going. Yes. So ultimately, hey, hats off to her.
Amen.
Yes, hats off to her. Now, we'll not try, kind of pivot a little bit. I want to kind of ask both of y'all something. What are some fun facts that y'all know about each other?
Yeah, what are fun facts that you know about?
Okay, I see Lasheena giggling. That means she about to tell the truth about something that
you know. He's a comedian. He thinks he's funny, right? He's like, I make everybody else laugh. Why I don't make you laugh like everybody else laugh? They find my jokes funny, right? What was I gonna say?
No, continue on. I want to hear about that, please.
He's my biggest baby. He loves my attention, and if I'm not giving him attention, he's throwing a complete fit. You hear me?
That's a good thing.
Babies have demands.
Yes, that's the reason I call you my baby, huh? Yes. But Charles, he's he wears like many, I don't know how he multitasks, like the many things that he do. I know people say multitasking is almost impossible, but he wears so many between, like I said, working full time, FitLife, showing up, together, family, making time for his kids, making time for me, mentoring. He does robotics. I don't know how he do them. I look at him like, people look at me and say, how do you do it? I'm like, how does he do it? As a man and carrying so many, holding down the household, one income for so long, and kids just keep coming. But he keeps grinding, finding many ways. And it's like, wow, I don't know how he wears the many hats that he does. He has a basketball game today that he's coaching my daughter's basketball team later. And he does it. He helps, he volunteers. Most people well, he's a deacon at our church. So he serves. Once again, I can probably continue to go on and on and on and on, but he's down to earth. Like nobody, looking at him, nobody would really know. He don't wear, he doesn't look heavy. He doesn't look like, he wears it very light. And so, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you, baby. Yeah. And so for me, well, first thing that makes me mad about her is she don't laugh at my jokes. Because she is such one thing about Lasheena is she loves to please people. She loves to be the life of the party. She brings so much energy to everything she does. If you could see it, it just resonates from her. It just, she just illuminates the room and just brightens up an entire room. And she feeds and pours so much into people that it's almost insane. She gives, like, if there's 100% to give, she gives 99.5% for people. She is a extrovert to the 12th power. I mean, she just gets so much energy, and she will be the life of any party. I mean, depending on, no matter the party, no matter the situation, she is not leaving your home, your house, your event until the party is over. The DJ has turned off the lights. He has already shut down the booth. His stuff is in the car, and she's still on the dance floor. So she brings all of this energy to people. I mean, she's just a ball of energy, a ball of life. And I mean, she's an amazing mom, an amazing woman, and it's just her energy to give to people is phenomenal. And then, this is me, the baby again. Then she gets home and she crashes. I mean, if we're having a house party, she will have unlimited energy until the last person walks out the door, and then she'll be asleep on the bench. I'm like, it's just so hard to process sometimes. So, I've had to learn, me being a baby, me want my attention. You know what? What about me? Because, like, even in the party, I have the whole place laughing, and she's trying to not focus on everybody. They're good. They're laughing. They got energy. She's looking at the one person who's not happy. So she can't enjoy my energy because she got to make sure that one person is happy. She got to transfer some joy to that one person. And it's amazing because she finds a way to do it. She finds a way to do it.
That's an amazing skill, Lasheena, because not everyone takes the time to focus on that one person who looks sad, because you just never know what their thought process is. And I didn't want to throw this in, but you just never know what people are thinking, because a lot of people are on the verge of committing suicide and you don't even know it. But if you take the time just to talk to them, just to acknowledge them, that's just changed everything about a perfect perspective. But I just love how you guys edify one another, you uplift one another. And I love, Charles, how you still yearning for your wife, because sometimes when you're in a marriage so long, in a relationship so long, it's like, I don't want to be bothered with that person. I don't want them to. I think that's a great feeling that you still yearn for her, and she still wants to give you her attention as well too. So I appreciate that, which kind of leads me to my next question is, why is marriage so important? And why is it so important in the African American community?
Well, marriage is so important. It's almost the same for us. We see marriage as like relationship mentors, because you grow up, you need a mentor, you need a role model, you need something to strive to. And we are lacking mentors and role models in the African American community as is. But imagine that, where I grew up, the projects I grew up in, we didn't know, there was barely any dads, let alone anybody married. I don't think I knew one person who actually had anything other than a boyfriend who was in and out the house. And then it was the next guy in and out the house. Mm-hmm. So we feel like when you have a marriage, something strong, it's something that can kind of centralize and empower everyone around you. You give families a template on how to be, a template that it's okay. You allow people to know that it's all right to have a strong male presence in your life. Mm-hmm. It motivates the young man in the community. Hey, there can be a man who can tell you what to do, because a lot of our young men have gotten to the point where no one can tell them what to do. And they've only heard the voice of a woman who is nurturing by nature. So it's hard for them to even interact with a man and look him in the eye. So you got somebody who can kind of be the glue of a neighborhood, a glue of the community, when you have a married couple and a strong male role model and a strong male presence there. And also, when you see a man and a woman together, it gives an example for the young women. Absolutely. That it's okay for that man to love on you, make you a queen, make you a princess, to put you on a pedestal and keep you on that pedestal, you know, and to throw himself down in the mud to make sure you don't your feet don't get dirty when you walk. And that's the type of example that our community needs. You know, I feel like the African American community it's crumbling because it's not okay to be certain things. It's not okay for a woman to be a princess. It's not okay for her to be treated like a queen. It's not okay for a young man to be strong without violence. You know, to be strong through his presence, to be strong through his interactions, to be strong through turning the other cheek and saying, this ain't worth it, you know? So these are the things and the examples that you can set when you have a strong marriage, you know? And it's good for kids to see, you know, and sometimes I do this. I have to be somebody else's dad, you know, and I'm okay with that. So they don't feel that feeling of lack, you know, and those are the feelings that create emotions and anger and frustration that eventually turn into something else growing. So, I mean, it allows you to be confident and strong enough to be there and support and empower other people. That's why we feel marriage is so important.
I think that's imperative. Before you speak, Lasheena, I just want to say this to Charles. I just want to say I commend you for just stepping your game up because, like you said, in our community, we need those leaders. We need those Black men to show these Black boys, you know, you don't just have to just have multiple women. You can focus on one woman. You know, you don't have to be just a basketball player. You can be an engineer. We need the boys. We need them to emulate something positive. And not a lot of men, they don't want to take responsibility. And I'm sorry, there are a lot of them out there. They do not want to take responsibility. So again, I just commend you. So Lasheena, you was about to say something.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, he said it. He really hit it on a nail, you know, just honestly, the importance of it. And just to know that, you know, you're stronger together. I think that's the major thing. We see, especially our Black women working so hard to do it alone, to do it by themselves, to take on all the responsibilities alone. And it's like, it doesn't have to, like, I commend every single parent every single day because he does so much. And it doesn't mean that I don't stress about things at times or things don't get hard or things are not a struggle at times. But I'm like, if I have help, I couldn't even imagine being alone and having to do it, you know, by myself. Like, and so the unity that God created through marriage, it makes sense. It makes sense to make our lives much easier rather than harder, right? But, and it's not only because of us, right, that we've spoken about before, that it's harder, but it's passed down generational, right? It goes back to the division of, you know, back to slavery and us being divided and the men's been taken out the house and the women being separated, the children being separated. So we know it's deeper than that. But we have to still have a mindset of change and start somewhere. And so being married, sharing our truth, being transparent, that's why it's important, you know, because it's better. It's better together than it is doing it alone.
Yeah, and that just helps me kind of leverage the fact that when you have been able to do it on your own, right? And you've been strong and you've been able to do everything yourself, it's easy for you to walk away when some obstacle comes because you don't need that help anyway. You know, and we want to kind of show people that you do need that help, no matter how strong you are. When you're together, you're stronger. And I mean, that's the precedent that you need to set, because other than that, you have so many women, they're strong and they're empowered and they've done it on their own. And then they meet someone and there's a obstacle that comes. It's easier to walk away than it is to work through the obstacle because I could have done it by myself anyway.
Right.
You know, and then it's easy. And even for the man, I mean, you have to learn to, even though you can do it and even though you have options, sometimes it's just better to focus on one thing and get something accomplished. You know, it's easy to run, you know, from progress. You know, a lot of people do that. They run to the next easy thing and they go through the easy steps.
Right.
And then they don't get to the peak of whatever their endeavor is because they're always running. You know, so it's easy for each individual on both sides to separate because it's easy. Those easy steps when you first meet somebody, like even meeting a girl, when you first meet them and y'all giggly and y'all want to go on all the dates, that's the easy side. So how easy is it to walk away from a commitment when an obstacle comes because she's powerful, she can do it on her own, so she'll leave, and you like those easy steps where there's not a lot of effort or work, you know? So we want to show people that it's worth it.
It is.
And there's something
It
on the other
is.
side.
And it's work, but it's worth it.
Absolutely. One of my favorite movies that I love, I don't know if you ever saw it, it's called Naked, and it's by Marlon Wayans. Have you ever saw it before?
I haven't watched that.
I fell asleep on it 4 times. I watched the first 20 minutes when he's going and he meets the parents and he's at the rehearsal. That's where I leave off. When they at the rehearsal, every time I fell asleep because I do have some busy days at times.
Right. The main reason why I brought that up because I was watching it again last night too, but I fell asleep a long night. But anyways, I was watching it again, and the whole concept of the whole movie is that Marlon Wayans have to keep repeating certain things. Like he will get to a certain place, and then it will keep taking him back in time. He kept saying, "Why am I keep going back?" But then he paid attention. Oh, I know what to do this time. Oh, I'm gonna dodge this bullet. I know if I go to you, you're going to punch me in my face. And I say all this because I just feel like every day God gives us the grace and the mercy to have a brand new day. And a lot of times we don't catch it of what he's trying to show us because like you said, Charles, sometimes we keep going to the same pattern. We're like, why does keep happening to me? But you have to take the moment and say, well, okay, maybe it's time for me to change. And before me and Manny came on the show today, we was actually talking about that. We was talking about a lot of people do not want to put the work in. It's so easy just to feel comfortable and do the things you've been doing. But if you want to grow and you want to go to your next level, you have to challenge yourself. A lot of us don't want to challenge ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
So sometimes we have to get put in a situation to make us uncomfortable to challenge ourselves so we can go to our next level. And it seems like you guys are, definitely there. I commend you guys for putting this ministry together because I feel like a lot of people can benefit for it. So thank you, Charles and Lasheena.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And that's truly been our life story. That's truly been our life story.
You get to try over and over again. You finally got it right, correct? That's what marriage is about too.
Getting it right.
Getting it right.
The process.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Manny, look like you want to say something.
No, I'm just sitting back and enjoying the conversation here,
Okay, but I need you to jump in this conversation with us.
No. But like I said, we want to thank y'all for bringing those jewels into all of our, daily lives and everything. Because for some people who has never been married or don't have any kids, you definitely provided a lot of insight of what they should expect and what they should look for. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where, again, I'm just sitting back and learning. It's not so much as I don't want to say nothing. I'm just like, this is wisdom here. And usually I've been taught from day one, when wisdom speaks, you be quiet. Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those moments where I had the knowledge of, oh, wait, this is good information. Let me sit back and listen, things like that. But I also want to kind of like bring some excitement and bring some fun into this. So we have a little small game where I ask some questions, or actually me and Kay ask some questions, whereas I ask Lasheena and Kay ask you, Charles.
All right.
Don't worry, it's nothing embarrassing.
It's okay. We're ready. We love games.
Okay, we can make sure that one. All right, so Lasheena, if Charles was going out with his friends, where would they be going?
To a sports bar. They're probably going to watch a game. Football, basketball. He loves sports. He'll probably go watch tennis.
Oh, wow. Well,
he is a sports guru.
Basically, you're like me. You watch any sport that comes on the
golf, anything.
I think one time I was during the whole pandemic when sports was just kind of like being, sat down for the moment. I was actually watching Spash Hockey. And I was just like, and it was on ESPN, mind you. Right. And I was just looking at this. I'm like, we need to bring sports back. Yes. Why are we watching bar games on ESPN? Like,
I can relate.
Bring some sports back. I don't care if it's hockey. Bring it back.
We needed it.
That's him.
Oh, did we? Yeah. I mean, thank God for The Last Dance. But anyway, okay, second question. What is his most prized possession?
Most prized possession. I would honestly say, I would really honestly have to say his children. That's what I would say. Like that. When I met this man, he said he wanted 50 kids from different states. But he had his children. We're done. We're done though. But
She said,
his
I'm done. No, Lasheena, you said you're done.
We're done. We're done.
No,
We
done.
concluded this last one. We have a 14-month-old, and he is like you said, a ball. He is a handful, and I'm like, Lord.
Wow.
Can I clarify that one real quick? Because
Wait, can I ask this real quick? What's the ages?
Okay, so 14, so 16. So we had my nephew who we raised for 10 years. From when he was 5 to 16. So 2 16-year-old boys. So bonus son. Then my daughters are 14, 13, 11. And then my baby boys are 4 and 14 months.
Wow. Yeah, I commend you.
Trust me, I mean, hats off to both of y'all, because my great grandparents, God rest their souls, one set, my grandfather's set of parents, my grandfather was the first of 19. And my grandmother was the 8th of 24.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm not having that many kids, because I'm
watch out, Lady Kay. Never too late.
Y'all see my face? I'm good.
Oh, gosh. All right, let's go to the next question before I get in trouble. Okay, here we go. What is your significant other's favorite female celebrity?
Everybody
Rihanna.
loves Riri.
yes.
Everybody loves
so
Riri.
funny? You're the second person
Right.
in this series that says they love Rihanna.
Man.
She popping though. I can't be mad. Rihanna's popping.
Wow.
What's that favorite song you like? It just gets him going.
Oh, You the One.
Yeah, You the One. You the
But
one. But he sings it to me though.
I just watched her video.
Okay.
But he loves Rihanna
Hey, I mean, can't fault that. And here's the last question, and we want you to finish the sentence. I wish Charles would stop. Hence the awkward silence.
I know.
It's a good one. It's make people think.
That's a good one. I will make Charles stop.
You would wish with Charles.
I know the answer.
I will make Charles stop playing dominoes.
Domino. I knew it from the moment y'all asked the
I
question.
had to think about it. Yes, I would make Charles stop playing dominoes. I would.
So you're a Bones player?
Yes, I love it online, in person. I just love Bones, man.
He's
It just gives
hosting
me
these tournaments. I don't even know how he has the time to do it. Sometimes it takes from my time and I pout. And I'm like, you need to put your phone down. Like, so we go through that a lot. And it's overdone. But I will say we've come a long way. I'd rather be fussing about dominoes than fussing about some of the stuff we fussed about in the past.
Right.
To get his attention.
But
Okay,
so you a talker or?
Huh? Yes. Yeah. I'm known to say a few things while we're on the table. Just a few.
He's a trash talker. He can't help himself.
I mean, hey.
That's funny.
So am I. I try to keep it as civil as possible, but it just ends up going off the deep end, and that's when certain things are said that you be like, you know what? I really didn't mean it when I said it like that.
It wasn't my intention. It was all in fun, right?
It was all in fun, but still. I didn't mean to say that about. I didn't mean to say that about your, your hairline. Or, I mean, granted, yeah, right. You do smile. You kind of do look like Bo Outlaw if the light shines this way. Stop. I'm gonna stop. All right, Kay, time for your questions.
Right. So, my first question to Charles. So, what dish does Lasheena prepare that she thinks you mostly enjoys?
You cook still? I didn't even know we were still cooking.
We can get back to it. We can get back to it.
But she makes this fried tilapia that I love, and I'm pretty sure she thinks I enjoy it a lot more than I really do. But I do like it. It's good. It's good. Her second batch is normally better than the first. I never eat none of her first batch. It's always undercooked, and the second batch is
not
perfect.
Undercooked. He just like his food burnt.
Not burnt.
He like it extra.
I like it well
real
done.
Dark, real dark. Yeah, my brother do the same thing. I get it. I get it.
I don't mess with the first batch.
My brother, except for chicken.
Right.
Chicken, you gotta cook it all the way through.
Yes, I'm a stickler on my
chicken.
Yeah,
me too.
I don't allow her to cook my chicken wings anymore.
For real.
Who the hell cooked them last night? Our daughter.
She used the air fryer.
Air fryer is good. The air fryer is popping, okay?
Yeah, that's the air fryer.
All right.
So my next question to you, Charles, is what habit would you like Lasheena to break?
Being a captain, being the person who is there for and saving and rescuing everybody in the world, every friend, every situation, every circumstance. I mean, she has to be the hero of every story, of every movie. She got to be Bruce Willis or Danny Glover in everything that she do. She has to come, save the day, and rescue everybody. And I would like her to step away, because you're just taking on, no matter how strong you are, when you keep taking on other people's burdens, it just gets heavy. And I would like her to ease up the burdens and focus on herself and her own success and our success a little more. She just has to save everyone. So I would like her to get out of the habit of saving them. Something almost came to my mind about saving people, but I can't say that on Zoom. But.
Okay.
Listen, I've been doing better, right, babe? I've been doing better. I'll speak for myself.
Yeah, babe. I want to have a good day. You've been doing better. If that's what you want to hear.
Really?
She's trying to ask a question.
It's a person to blessing. You gotta have that balance. You gotta know when to step back and when to step in. So I get it. I struggle with that too. I think it's just within us that we just want to help people, but we have to also know too, you can't help everybody, and they have to want it more than you do. So, absolutely. And I'm starting to understand that. So I have to ask you guys this: Are you drinkers?
Occasional, social, occasional.
One of us is. I'm not a big drinker.
Okay. But it's occasional.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So.
Okay, because I was going to ask you this, because a lot of people sometimes they don't know their drinks. I was going to ask you, Charles. I said, if you had to rate Lasheena of one of these drinks, what would you rate her as? Would you rate her as a cosmopolitan, a margarita, or a gin?
Oh, she's more like gin. What you love to drink is what you are. You can't. You are
she's like strong.
Gin. She's strong. 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 Yeah. See, I know my.
Okay.
She likes margaritas, so she think I had to call her margarita. You stronger than that. You more like gin, baby.
I got one question for you.
No rocks. Nothing to chase it down with, nothing to cut it. Straight from the Bombay bottle to the glass.
One question for you, because I already hear the sports side in you. Do you think Lasheena can beat you in any sport?
No, not one single sport could she beat me at.
Okay.
And she was, and it's crazy because she was a champion track athlete, and I'm faster than her. She was what? Conference champion in track, a heptathlete conference champion, and there's not a single sport Is there any sport? No, I'm competitive too.
We
So
both are very
I don't let
competitive.
her win
Competitive.
at anything.
Yeah, we both very competitive,
Yes.
but
Oh my gosh, you
Not
guys
one.
are hilarious. But I do appreciate you guys. You guys were really fun. You gave us some insight information. You dropped us some nuggets. If people wanted to connect with you guys about your business, where can they find you on social media?
they can find us on on Facebook at FitLife, and that's FITLYFE Solutions, and Instagram, same handle, FitLife Solutions.
Spell it out one more time.
FITLYFE Solutions.
Thank you. And Charles and Lasheena, is there anything else you would like to pour into our audience before we leave today? Is any other message you would like to share with them?
I would just like to, say that, marriage works. It really does. It works when you're able to work with it. And it doesn't take just one person, but it has to take two willing partners to work together in order to get the results that you desire. There's no perfect marriage. There's no just happily ever after marriage, but it's being intentional about creating happiness within your marriage and doing those things. So we believe faith without works is dead. So your marriage is going to be dead if you're just having faith, but you have to put in that work with it as well to get the results that you're desiring.
Yes, and we believe you should for us, we put in God first in all that we do. It only elevates what we do. And we also believe in the second thing. If it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a community to support a marriage.
Absolutely.
And that's what we believe in. You have to have that community of support, those like minds, those people who can say, I relate to that struggle, those people who can say, we had to do this to make it through. Everyone needs that community to help support them. And that establishes a foundation, which allows you to continue to grow to as many heights as you strive for, because that foundation is so solid and won't crumble.
Absolutely. And it does take a community. And that's one of the reasons why, Manny and I invited you guys on our platform so you can share with the world that marriage is possible. Yes, it has its bumps and bruises. Everybody's story is different. But as long as you are willing and you are committed, you can make it happen. So we just want to, again, thank you for taking the time and being with us today. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed the message. Continue to follow us at the Lady K Chat Podcast here on IG, YouTube, and Facebook. And you can reach us at our website at www.ladykeenterprisesinc.com. K is spelled K-A-Y, and I'm going to repeat it for you one more time. www.ladykeenterprisesinc.com. And everyone, you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Have a good day.
Thank y'all so much for having us. We are truly honored and we appreciate it.
This
Thank
was
you.
a blessing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Lady K.